You're listening to Parasearch Radio, news, views and reviews from the world of the paranormal from across the UK and beyond. Find us on Facebook, Twitter and the World Wide Web. Parasearch UK Radio. Parasearch Radio, broadcasting to the UK and beyond.
The views and opinions expressed by presenters and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of Parasearch Radio or its affiliates and sponsors. Listener discretion is advised. You're listening to Kerry Greenaway and Mark Manley on the Dark Mirror Paranormal Show, only on Parasearch Radio.
Good evening and welcome to the Dark Mirror Paranormal Show. My name is Kerry Greenaway, as you all know by now. Tonight I'm joined in the studio so far by Kaz Rooney. Good evening, Kaz. How are you?
Good evening, Kerry. I'm great. How are you?
Oh, we've got issues with our Mark, Kaz.
He's having big issues tonight. He's just sent a message, so, saying going to have to uninstall and reinstall.
Oh, my God. So hopefully at some point our lovely Mark Manley will join us with his normal mayhem. His normal mayhem on a Friday. But so far it's just me and Kaz.
Yeah. Which
is so sensible discussion, I feel.
Yeah, no aliens.
No aliens. Yoo-hoo. He's probably listening and swearing at me as we speak.
Yeah.
So tonight we are discussing psychic and energy vampires and what they are and where they allegedly, or should we say, allegedly originate from. So, Kaz, on a spiritual level, let's go spiritual straight away.
Right, let's do spiritual.
Let's do spiritual because Mark doesn't like spiritual, so we can get that out the way before he joins us.
Yeah.
What do you class as a psychic or energy vampire?
To me, my personal experience with psychic vampires, mainly attach themselves to empaths and sensitives. They literally drain the energy from your soul completely.
Yeah,
you can literally just see them and feel tired the minute you see them.
Yeah, they literally drain you on every level, don't they?
Yeah. Yeah.
And these could be like family members, they could be friends, they can be somebody standing next to you in a supermarket, and then all of a sudden it's just like a wave of exhaustion.
Complete exhaustion.
Yeah, complete exhaustion. God, they're all shouting aliens in the chat room. They're obviously missing our lovely Mark. Bless him. He is going to join us as soon as he can. He so will, I'm sure. But anyway, getting back to our show.
Yeah.
We'll manage without the aliens, guys, in the chat room. I'm sure we will. But that's how I view it, is that, you can spend time with somebody, but you really have to put your protections up to stop that energy drain going on. And when you're in the paranormal field, you know when something is drawing on your energy because you can feel it. It's just that feel, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I believe we spoke about this before. That's why protecting yourself is so important. Mm-hmm. And the problem being with, especially if you happen to be an empath, even though they might be a psychic vampire, whatever way you want to put it, being an empath, 9 times out of 10, you will still half kill yourself trying to help them. But sometimes you need to distance yourself from the whole thing. You have to distance yourself from those kinds of people. It's not being cruel, it's just self-preservation, really.
It certainly is, because, an empath tends to be a giver. They will give and give and give. And also, there is that drive to help and to fix.
Yeah.
Isn't there? There's that's the driving force behind that. And because you are empathic and you can see the damage that's been done, you are in that position where you want to fix. Hi, Cheryl. Bless her. She's trying to get in. So that is your drive as an empath is first of all, it's to help as much as you can people, and secondly, it's that drive to fix. And you can overextend yourself and use too much of your own energy to achieve that.
Yeah, that's why it's so important. I mean, there comes a point where you have to go, right, I can't do it anymore. And what you've got to remember is, I mean, speaking personally, I know I've done that. Just give and give and give and try and fix and try and make it better and try and help. I know for a fact that you've done that, Kerry. But it gets to a point where you've got to say, no, they've got to fix it themselves and I need to step back. Yeah,
because you can give someone the tools to do it, but you can't. It's up to the person themselves to actually fix themselves. So you can't actually do that. But if somebody is a psychic or an energy vampire, they're going. That's what they do. They keep on taking, and you keep on giving. And at some point, you do have to cut that off. I'm still recovering, I would say, from that situation that I was in not so long ago, and it is very, very hard to come back from when it is got to the level that it got to.
Well, that's the problem. You get to a point where you have given so much and you've tried so hard and you've tried to fix everything that it's affecting you emotionally, it's affecting you physically, it's affecting you spiritually, and you're so drained that you're not looking after yourself. That's why you've got to step back.
Yeah, I mean, my situation was forced. I was forced to step out of that situation, which was actually a situation that I didn't like, but was the good thing in the end. You know, looking back, it was the best thing at the time. Do you think that these people realise that they're doing that?
As you said, some people are givers. And they will just give and give and give and fix and help all the time. So the polar opposite of that, you have takers, and yes, the takers know they're doing it. And they will take and take and take till you are literally so exhausted. So there are people who do know they're doing it, but Paul has asked in the chat room, say you were standing somewhere, do you think the person standing next to you draining you, do they know they are sucking you dry?
See, from my perspective, I think some people do.
Yeah,
some people do, and it's a conscious thing that they're doing, because they are genuine takers. They are the takers in this world. But I think some people don't know that they do that, because I've come across people as well that they're lovely, really lovely people, but when they leave, you're like exhausted, like totally exhausted.
Yeah,
and that is because they've drawn on your energy without them even being aware of it. So I think there's a bit of both. I think some people are completely aware of what they're doing, and some people aren't.
Well, this is the thing Paul has just said in the chat room. Just don't help anyone, problem solved.
Wrong.
But it can't work like that, because if you're an empath, you're very existent. You're driven to do this, whether you like it or not.
Yeah, in whatever way that formulates. I mean, some people are driven to help people, on a day-to-day level. Like, what drives nurses to, give like that? They have to have that built-in protection where they don't get overly emotionally involved, which, we talk about bedside manner with nurses and doctors and people like that. But on some level, you have to have that wall built up so you don't get emotionally involved, because otherwise, could you imagine every patient you get emotionally involved with?
Yeah. The thing is, funnily enough, a lot of empaths do go into caring professions.
Yeah. Or saving professions, like, like the services, like even the armed services, like, you'll be surprised at how many empaths end up getting drawn into, like, the Army, Navy and Air Force.
Yeah.
Or the services
St. John's
as in fire.
ambulance.
Yeah. Fire service, paramedics, those kind of services.
Helping the homeless, helping various they kind of got drawn into that. And Kerry's forever calling me the charity girl, because if there's a charity thing going on, you're guaranteed I'll have a radio show about it somewhere.
That's very true.
But interestingly, when I left school, it was just after my 19th birthday, I moved actually to Essex and went to nursing college.
I know.
And the whole way through my teenage years, I worked through my exams because I knew I had to go to nursing college. It's strange that, isn't it?
It is. It's funny, isn't it, how life takes you? I mean, I work very much on a one-to-one on a mental and an emotional basis, as you know. And that's where I kind of do my helpy, fixy kind of situation. You know what I mean? That's where I get too involved with people sometimes. Because I don't do the physical healing. Whereas, like, you know I cross over a little bit into that with what I do. But I know... and earth energy as well. There's a lot of fixie energy. That's different though, because I have to say, with a entity, should we say, fixing healing, whether that be a person or whether a spirit, there is that. Be careful how much you give or take from that situation. With earth energy, it's not like that. It's a lot more balanced. You do have to be aware of that balance, but it's incredibly important to keep that balance. But it's as much a give as a take on earth energy. That's not entity energy. That's a completely different thing. It is a completely different thing. Now, Gary Bradfield, lovely. I love that man. He's just awesome.
Lovely,
we interviewed him last night on the Spectral Zone, didn't we? Or didn't you? You did.
Yes.
I was listening. Because I was because I was doing the studio, I kind of class it as mine. Sorry.
She doesn't do any of the work, but she classes it as hers. She starts up the studio, sits back, listens, and closes down the studio.
That's very true. That's very true. He says, as an events medium, if I'm drained out, I would ask if I can take some energy. He won't deliberately take energy. But that's your conscious decision to do that. And actually... asking that's key, isn't it? But on paranormal investigations, don't we say, take my energy, use my energy? And that's quite a dangerous thing.
But here's the thing, like mediums working mediumistically, going into another side of it, I mean, they use up the most amazing amount of energy just working day to day as well.
God,
so they're wide open to it. And I mean, if they do have a certain spirit who's quite
forceful,
bold,
bold. That's a good word.
Bold. And literally, the spirit can drain them in seconds and minutes, and you can understand why they need to ask for that energy. So I understand where Gary's coming from, in that sense. I do understand that.
I totally agree with that, because if you're like completely wiped, then you've still got to continue working. But there's the respect, isn't there? Saying, may I? Can I? Will you please allow me to draw on your energy so I can work? You know what I mean? And your spirit team up there, which again is different from a spirit in, just a spirit you're coming across, we'll go, we'll give you that. We'll give you that booster,
Yeah.
And that's where you have that close relationship with your spirit team, because they will feed you as much as... Mark Manley, are you in the house? No, he's not. It kind of is.
It kind of is.
Hang on.
Yeah, no, you're all right now.
Can you hear me?
Hey, Mark Manley's in the house.
Oh my God. Hello. Oh God, I can hear you. Hang on. Let's see if this is going to work. Can you see me? Yes. Hello.
Oh my God, he's in the house, everybody. We have Alien Mark in the house. Good evening, Mark.
Good evening. Hello. Good evening. And aliens. There you go.
They've been missing you in the chat room.
Oh,
they have been missing you.
I have had
aliens.
it's the Windows update. You couldn't use Skype.
You know what? How many times have I been saying to you for the last 3 weeks? Check your Windows update. It's been causing havoc.
Yeah, I know. When I put it on, the Skype it was just on the loading screen, and I'm there like,
hello.
and
Skype.
lots of
Are
swearing.
you there?
Lots of swearing, and then I realised, so yes, go on then, up you go.
See, everybody, when we had issues a few weeks ago, I did warn everybody to check their updates. Do they listen to me? No, they don't. Anyway, we have got Mark in the house now. So, okay, so we've talked a little bit about the spiritual side of things.
Yes.
On the psychic vampire-y type of things and the energy vampires. So let's actually start going back to the origins of this. So Mark, my lovely, lovely Marky Marks. Let's have a look.
What are you after?
Yeah.
Nothing.
What are
I'm in
you
a really
after?
good mood. Shush. I know it doesn't happen often, but make the most of it.
Okay, cookies.
Good. Right.
Now might
me
be
to
a
go
good time
back?
to ask for a raise.
No, just definitely don't ask for a
Right.
raise because that's not going to happen.
Get paid.
Oh yeah, there is that.
I was going to say, if you're getting paid, I want to have a word with you two. Right.
Hashtag working on it. Carry on.
So, hang on, I better say hello to everybody in the chat room. Good evening, everybody in the chat room. Hello, good evening, and welcome. I'm sorry, I have a huge dog trying to molest me as well. Doesn't help. Right, you want me to go back to the beginning?
Right, let's talk about ancient references to psychic vampires. Let's go right to the beginning of this old story of old.
It's old story of old. Okay, and hang on a second. I'm trying to stop the dog from strangling itself. Get off my headphone cable. Right, there you go.
Oh
right,
my
okay.
God. It's mayhem in Mark's house, everybody.
Yeah, I'm having one of these. Right. Maybe the most ancient known history of psychic vampirism is the one and only Lord Krishna. Lord Krishna sucked the life energy out of the man-eating and blood-sucking vampiric female demon Putana.
Has to be a female. All I can say is it had to be a female, didn't it, Kaz?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
Man beats woman again.
no, it's just you're all blood-sucking vampires. Anyway.
Anyway, she did try to kill him while he was an infant, so kind of.
Well, he was a kid. And although Lord Krishna is the avatar of, and the same as the great Lord Vishnu, and not a vampire, what he does is indeed psychic vampirism. And also, after killing her, people cut off her head and burned her, just as they would be done, to vampires, basically, European law, Eastern Europe and that lot. That's what they did with vampires. Still finding vampire graves being opened up when they're renovating buildings and stuff in Hungary, Poland, all that lot, which have had the heads cut off. They've had the heads cut off, put on the stomach and stones in the mouths and everything. So it's just like, all starts from there. But I do know that there was blimey, trying to think of not Mesopotamians, Sumerians. Sumerians had the same thing with very similar, and then the Mesopotamians, and then you had the Babylonians as well. They also had the same legends in there as well. So there you go.
There you go. Okay, everybody, that told you. That kind of was a little like that, Mark.
Anyway, in the Rig Veda and other ancient scripts of Hinduism, there are Rakshasas and Yashodanas, such as Putana, who are blood-sucking vampiric demons, and Bhutas, Vitalas, and Bitels, that are mostly energy-sucking vampiric demons. Don't ask me to repeat it again. I've told you. Pin your ears back and listen.
Okay, so we're talking really. Oh my God! So we've kind of moved on from psychic and energy vampires into they're classed more as the vampiric demons, or I love that word, demons. You've got to have it, a demon on a Friday night, don't we? These are more legends surrounding vampires, but they are energy psychic vampires because they're drawing on an energy force, whether or not that be psychic energy, physical energy, or mental energy, even sexual energy.
Do you know what? When I was doing the research, I heavily edited a lot of the stuff I put on there, because there's a man. I'm not going to mention the person's name, but there was a script, and it was a paper that somebody had done, and I was researching psychic vampires and this, that, and the other, and 3/4 of it was pure filth. It would have made the entire cast of 50 Shades of Grey go, "What the?" You know?
Well, we are going to do a show on succubus and incubus. We are going to do a show.
Different.
Believe it or not, we are going to do a show on that.
No, that's cool.
That might have to be a midnight show.
Yeah, you need me involved in that one. You know what I call succubus, don't you?
Oh my God. Now,
what was I going to say?
Let's touch on succubus and incubus quickly.
I am not touching anything that sucks a bus.
Save them, Mark, for that show is all I can say on that one, because we're literally going to touch and move on.
Really? Do you know what? This is another one we need to add to your book of Kerry euphemisms. So yeah, when he was doing that, Anyway,
let's just move on quickly. They are vampiric in nature because how they suck the life energy of victims is through the sexual energy that is raised. Oh, I'm so blushing right now. They are. This can occur. No, shush. This can either occur by having sex with their victims or by sucking the energy of the sexual encounters that the victim has. It can happen in either way. But we will do a whole show on that, and I will be bright red through that entire show and probably drink about 14 bottles of wine whilst we're doing it so I can get through it. But we will come back to succubus and incubus on another show, so watch out for that one. Let's move on swiftly. Let's have a look at other astral vampiric entities. Kaz, take over.
Okie Still without material body, but not demonic in nature, there are astral vampires. These are either energy-sucking astral beings or the spirits of dead humans.
Yeah. Yes.
That through the help of a vampire demon during their lifetime have become human energy-sucking vampires, and after death they remained in the astral plane as astral vampires, unable to move on.
So they were caught in limbo, basically.
Yeah, basically.
Caught in limbo and sucking whatever came past.
Yeah, whatever energy they can get.
Yeah. Could be animals, could be humans, could be phallic-looking cactuses, I don't know.
Right? Krishna, the avatar of Vishnu, the one who killed the demon.
And they're sucking avatars as well?
Oh my God.
There you go.
Oh
They're insatiable!
Christ.
And carry on, Kaz.
Sorry, hang on. Carl Hutchinson in the chat room. All I have in the head is a theme tune to Shaft.
I know, that's exactly what I was thinking at that moment.
Ashley Nibbish just said, is that legal?
God. Oh, my goodness me, everybody. Let's pull this back to some professionalism, please. So...
Hazel Buckley does have an interesting thing. She says, what did it look like? One thing I can say about normal vampires, we've all seen the vampire films, this, that, and the other. Vampires basically look like you and I. Unless you're like from the East. If you're from Eastern Europe, they sort of look like us, but with very pale, slightly bluish skin, and they look almost like the classical vampire Nosferatu from the original film. But if you go further east and go into India, China, Japan, and all that lot, they are the most bizarre-looking things you could ever think of. They basically look like Fu Manchu models with their hands like that, and you control them with a spell.
I love the way you're showing the hands like that, but no one can see you.
No, I know, but people are imagining
a bit Tommy Cooper-y is where he's going with that thought.
Well, vampires go just like that. And you control them with a spell, and then you can stop them by writing a very quick spell on a piece of paper and jamming it on the middle of their forehead. They don't walk, they don't run, they hop, and they go en masse, and they bite you everywhere and suck you everywhere. Oh, God.
Hold on a second.
You know what
sorry, I kind of lost the thread here. What are you talking about?
Eastern vampires.
What
Eastern
they look
vampires.
like? No.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Right. Okay. Any form of vampirism or energy, psychic energy vampires, are not a stereotypical manifestation of what you would imagine that is put out there by the media.
Well, not mainstream
They can occur
media.
in any form.
Because let's face it, most vampires don't, when they have fun, give off a load of glitter. So,
No, but we're not talking about vampires as, the media film kind of... We're talking energy vampires, and that can take the form of a friend, or it can take form of a somebody you meet in the street. That can take form of a partner. That can take the form of a spirit that comes along and needs energy, so will drain your energy for its own use. It can take the form of an elemental that will use your energy. It could take an elemental. I'm not just talking about lovely little fluffy earth, wind, fire, and air elementals. I'm talking
Earth,
about
wind, and
good,
fire?
bad. Oh yeah, those kind of elementals. It's the age of Aquarius.
So you put energy vampires with that song, and it's just like, yeah, man, the 70s and 60s,
like,
dude,
it's so
I
cool,
don't
dude.
remember. Like, wow, guys.
And we're back onto Scooby-Doo. Like, wow.
Like, wow.
I love that show. If you didn't catch that show, we did a show on what has Scooby-Doo got to do? Yeah, we did a show on that. Check that out, because that was absolutely goddamn awesome, that show.
One last thing.
It was brilliant. Anyway, going back to topic, you have to sort of understand that it is a social, cultural, self-belief system that will make them manifest in the way that it appears to you. So we can talk about how do they look. It's not necessarily how you would imagine they would look.
If you're talking psychic vampires as in the mental health side of it, then yeah, it's normal people who just feed off negative energy, and they feed off the reactions of other people. There's lots.
Did you just say the erections of other people?
No, Kerry, that's a succubus. Get that out of your mind. Your mind is in the gutter. Okay? No. Oh my God, ladies and gentlemen, you can just see what you just know what the show about succubus is going to be about. Kerry's going to be there, snorting her drink down her nose, all over the keyboard, everywhere. There's going to be Kaz on camera, me on camera, just looking at each other, shaking our heads and going, give her a straw, for Christ's sake. Anyway, no, Kerry, I did not say sucking the erections. Negative energy does not sound like erections. But, hey ho, in your little mind, it obviously did. But, carry on.
Sorry. Anyway, let's go back to, something serious.
All I'll say is Scooby-Doo's looking at you going,
I know. Where did we get to with other astral vampiric entities, Kaz? Let's go back to that bit where it's more sensible.
Now every ghost.
Yes. Carry on, Kaz. Gonna sit back, drink
People,
wine.
be professional, please.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Oh, cheers, darling. All right.
For the ghostly state is not healthy. The ghost is the spirit of a dead human that is still in the earth plane and not in the spiritual one, as it would be healthy to be. Without having a body anymore, every ghost needs to vampirize off the livings.
Okay.
I don't think that's true.
I don't think
I
that's
don't
true
agree
either,
with
but
that.
that's a point of view. It's a point of view.
There are several papers on here. Like I say, I did have to edit some of them because a lot of it, there's just no bloody way we could have read it out. It's like,
the Succubus Incubus show is definitely going to be a midnight one, I feel.
it was the energy vampire bit, but when it came into sexual magic,
Yeah. Why? I'm not even going to go there. Right, carry on. Carry on, Kaz. Shush, Mark. Shush, carry on.
Shush, Mark.
No, we're not talking candle wax on the nipples.
But that doesn't make
Anchors.
the ghost a vampire. Thank
Whips
you.
do.
I got that out there. Right. Although there are two kinds of such beings that are indeed vampires, as they suck too much energy all the time.
I love the emphasis she just put there on the word suck.
Because they do, they literally drain the soul from you sometimes. Anyway,
Do they? Fuck.
these are the so-called hungry ghosts and the so-called shadows.
Why can't I go to McDonald's?
I don't know. They haven't got any money? I don't know. The last kind are ghosts of humans intentionally created by a dark wizard in order to serve him. They are something like the voodoo zombies, but without material body.
Did you say the Dark Wizard of Oz?
No.
Well,
That-
like,
The
Dark Wizard of Oz.
in order to serve him.
That's it, right? Okay.
Right.
So let's have a look at that concept, right? So not all ghosts are vampiric energy sucking kind of entities. Some do because that's how they survive, but some aren't. They're just earthbound for a purpose, yeah?
Yeah.
Are we
Okay.
kind of agreeing on that point?
Yes.
Because I don't believe every spirit I've come across has sucked my energy.
No.
No, you're just wishing.
No, seriously.
No. To be absolutely fair, I mean, you know yourself in every single aspect of every single bit of paranormal and normal and superhuman. You've got good, you've got bad, you've got indifferent, and you've got ones that just go meh. So you know, the ones that go meh.
The ghosts
just
that
like-
say meh. Oh, that changes things. Anyway, so no, I don't believe that at all. I don't think just because you become an earthbound ghost, you're an energy-sucking vampire kind of ghosty kind of scenario. I do think some do draw on energy wherever it comes from. But I will go back to this. If you're like that in life, why would you be any different in death?
Exactly.
If you act like that and you draw on people's energy to maintain self in life, then that's how you're going to, that's how you don't know any different, particularly if you're earthbound. You're going to continue with that in death, surely.
You'd have thought so. I mean, you know, if you're a miserable bugger, then that's it. You know.
Yeah.
If however, you're fixated on things being sucked, then you're going to be exactly the same when you pass over, and you're going to turn into an energy vampire. Boom! And there you go. We know what Kerry's going to be.
I am not. I'm going to be a gift.
A gimp? What?
I was going to say giver. No, I didn't say gimp. I did not say gimp. I said giver. That's, I was going with giver, and then thought
giver.
better of it, but you still changed it
don't-
into something dirty. Is all
you're
I
not
can say.
receiver.
No.
Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it yourself. Kerry Greenway is going to become a gimp in another life.
Guys, help.
Oh, how you've missed me, haven't you?
Oh my god. Oh my god. We should
She's
have
got bright red, ladies and gentlemen. I'm looking at her now.
Yeah,
She nearly
she's got
matches her
bright
wall.
red. Give her a minute, she'll be snorting.
Oh, we're snorting already. I've just been hiding it very, very
I know.
well.
Yes, Carl. Carl was right. You said gimp.
I did not. I went "Gah," and then changed it in my head so it didn't materialise in a full word of giving. And whatever I would have said at that point was going to be misread and changed it to something
Right.
it wasn't meant to be, right?
Right, can I be the party pooper here?
Go on, carry on.
All right, I'm not actually being the party pooper, Ashley Nebb is, because he's got a serious question. Do we
dear.
not all
Oh,
do we
dear.
not all drain energy from others and continue to transfer energy willingly, or not throughout our lives? Energy transform, it never dies.
Because
No,
of chi.
I definitely agree with that. Energy just transforms. It doesn't die. I totally
Yeah.
agree with that point. I disagree with the point that we all draw energy from others. I disagree with that point. Kerry's
You're
coming back
welcome,
as a tech expert. No, that's never going to happen. No, I totally disagree with that. We all draw energy from others because where you draw your energy from is a personal choice, and you don't have to draw it from other living beings. You can draw it from the universe.
Can I?
And actually, James has brought a point up. He's trying to be funny, I feel, with the universe and porridge, but. from what you put into your vessel, which is your body, that transforms that into energy. That is actually where you draw energy from. It is your choice as to whether or not you draw it from others around you, and you should never draw from another person unless they allow you to do so.
I was about to say, you've been with me on investigations and when you've asked me to use my energy, and I don't take it from other people. I can do if I want to, because that's basically
we've done experiments on that.
But I use it. I take it from the sky and from the earth.
Yes.
Sounds weird. I have my own way of doing it, but I find that when I use the sky and the earth, I have a hell of a lot more powerful chi than if I take it from somebody.
I agree, but it's about knowledge, isn't it, of how to use the energy that's surrounding you, and choosing where you draw that energy from.
Yeah.
You can draw it from another person. I mean, me and Mark, we've this is going to sound bizarre. We have done experiments with this, haven't we?
Yeah.
Drawing
exactly.
energy and from various points, and whether for universal and good side, bad side. We've done that side. We've done those experiments, and it is purely a choice of where you draw that from. And Paul Rook says he had a serious question, Kaz. I can't find his question.
He wants to use a charger.
His question was earlier on. We did answer his question earlier on, remember? And then
did.
Mark joined us and it all went a bit of pot. And
Okay.
I was about to say, what another thing with the energy is like when we did the pendulum, and you said you noticed that when I pushed my energy through you said yourself it was like, oh, blimey. Remember?
There's a completely different vibe, and it is how you use that energy, and that's a personal choice. That is a conscious choice, not that. That is something that is a conscious choice. Oh God, he's gone very serious.
Ashley's continued, does that not depend on your perception of what energy is per se?
How can you change your perception of what energy is? Energy is energy.
Right. Does not energy transference occur without knowledge, though, and as Mark says, with balance from the earth and universe, similar to how Gaia theory explains how everything is connected?
Correct. Everything is connected, but
it is, yeah.
It is connected, but it's your conscious choice where you draw that energy from. It is your choice. Oh God, our energy,
that's what we were just talking about.
Emotions, not energy. Yes, they are energy, which is why you have to have complete control of your emotions when you work in that way. How many times have we said before now that whenever you're working energy, you have to have complete control of your emotions? It's a non-emotion state.
Can I give you an example? When we're doing investigations, and I'm talking to everybody in the chat room and everybody out there listening, if you've ever been on investigations and you've seen one of the psychics or the mediums or whoever suddenly get touched by spirit and they break down and they're a complete mess and they have to be led away from the situation and taken out of it, that's because...
That's a decision, though, isn't it? It's a decision to be removed from that situation, because at that point, emotion takes control. You have to remove yourself from that situation.
And that is the wrong energy.
Mm-hmm.
It is a form of energy, but it's totally negative energy.
And so that's why you have to remove yourself. That's one of the reasons why we say you have to be completely in control of yourself when you're going on investigations or working in a spiritual manner, because you have to have control of that energy. And that is your personal choice. And if you feel that your emotions are... I'm getting emotional. I'm getting all passionate. Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. Somebody keep the straws away from her.
Like, time to move away from the energy. No, if you're working with energy, in whatever form you do that, you have to be in control of it. If you lose control of that, then you have to remove yourself from that situation. Because when you're working with energy, you have to be in control of it. Yeah, otherwise, your conscious decisions are then ruled by emotions, and you can't guarantee the decisions you make under an emotional situation are the right decisions.
I mean, say you come across an energy vampire who feeds off negative energy, or, and you've got somebody around them who's got a very strong personality, who's basically, excuse my language, a miserable bastard most of the time. They're going to make that person worse and worse and worse and worse. And without them realising it, they're getting a full course buffet out of that guy.
Yeah, completely. I mean, but the thing is, they're very well at disguising it as well. This is the problem. There's a level of deception regards to this as well. So you may not even realise that you've come across an energy vampire when you are dealing with somebody, because they can come across very needful. Please help me. I need your help. Even spiritually or physically. This can happen on both fields. This is not just narcissists. We talk about narcissists in the field quite a lot. They're very, very good at twisting things. And so, Mr. Nib. Indeed. They're very good at twisting it. So you have to be incredibly aware and energy scan all the time. And at the moment, Cheryl McGregor earlier on put a post up saying, at the moment, the universal energy that's out there at the moment, which is not an energy vampire, it's a universal thing, is very mob mentality. It's an energy that's driven to whipping up the masses and causing fires and causing that emotional turmoil. And that's a universal thing going on at the moment. And it's very subtle. It's incredibly subtle. And
can I say something as well?
Yeah, of course you can.
To kind of put your point across about the way they're draining. Empaths tend to end up, their twin flame tends to be a psychic vampire. Funnily enough, if you notice that. Mm-hmm. With empaths, the twin flames always seem to end up being a psychic vampire.
Yeah, yeah.
They drain and they drain and they drain. All the time. Mm-hmm. But
So you're talking about twin flames, and I'm looking at you because I'm the alien and tech guy, and I'm just looking at you going, well.
I know, it's a very spiritual term, but when you meet someone like that, a giver will meet a taker, and that's a twin flame. Yeah, you can meet a twin flame, and to keep that balance is a battle. I mean, as I say, we're going back to the universal energy at the moment with something that Cheryl was talking about earlier on today.
Yeah,
she was like going, she blew up over a Facebook thing, and and then it was only actually afterwards she sat back and thought, actually, it's a mob mentality thing that's going on. We're seeing this an awful lot in the paranormal field at the moment.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? There's a lot of that going on.
But that is being driven by universal energy at the moment, and that is incredibly draining in itself.
Yeah.
There's one thing I've got to say I've noticed in the world of Weird and Wonderful this week. Not going to mention names or anything like that. Somebody used an app and claimed that a demon came out of an app and did naughties with them.
Yeah, I saw that.
I saw that.
We all saw that.
I read it. I'm not going to, like I say, not going to mention names or anything. I read it. I stopped reading it. I looked up in the air. I turned around and looked at the cat, shook my head, and went back to reading something else.
Yeah, you scroll through and you that's where discernment, but that's where discernment comes in. You have to use a hell of a lot of discernment and not allow your emotional reaction or your knee-jerk emotional reaction to respond.
Well, even the cat shrugged her shoulders at me, so,
Surely. I mean, emotions are not always fully controlled, though, which is how energy may be unwillingly transferred. Yes, you're right there. And that is the problem. Your emotions get triggered. And that is the problem, isn't it? Because how many times have we been in situations your emotions get triggered, you knee-jerk reaction, and then you find yourself in this situation. And then you do a lot of, if you're discerning and you're protected, you suddenly realise what you've done, you backtrack, and that's where you reclaim your power. But it is... emotions are an incredibly nightmarish situation in regards to this. This is the problem with energy psychic vampires.
Well, there's a couple of other things. I mean, first of all, there's the one type of psychic vampire, if the real psychic vampire, that only takes enough to survive. When you're walking down the road and somebody bumps into you and you go, "Oh, I'm so sorry," and then they carry on, and then literally you suddenly go, "My God!" and you feel drained, and you could go and have a nap, and this and they're the ones that literally take enough to keep alive. And there's quite a few stories about them out there. And then you get the ones that basically, they just keep taking and taking and taking and taking and taking until in the end you do something silly, and that's the end of it. And that's basically because you've had enough, you're drained, and it's all gone. You got nothing else to give.
Yeah.
You know, and look at me last week. I don't mind admitting I had a complete mental breakdown last week, and that was years and years and years of things catching up and things from my past that I didn't even remember about from when I was a kid, and complete meltdown. And I turned into a horrible, nasty, evil person. Don't know what I did. Don't want to know what I did. I know some of it, and no. So
No.
I'm getting help with it, and I'm trying to balance my own stuff inside with my own things as well.
But that's a point taken though.
Yeah.
When you come across somebody like this, it's usually a mirror to show you something you need to work on within.
Mm-hmm.
Do you not feel?
Oh yeah, definitely.
You know, I know this. I've, as you know, around Christmas period, I came across something like this, and I'm still working through various issues that are still lingering from that situation. And it's taken a lot of work, a lot of inner work, a lot of shadow self, a lot of, okay, so what does that reflect into me? Why did I react in the way that I reacted? How many people do that work?
Yeah.
I'm doing it one step at a time. I mean, I've noticed a change in what I do, and I'm bloody glad I have. But I'm I'm taking it one step at a time. And my one thing that I'm doing mainly is listening more. And I find that completely alters the energy wave. It alters the vibrations and everything.
Yeah.
I sound like a complete hippie then, but I meant it. It alters everything, and you can almost, it's almost palpable. You can almost see that energy wave that was like that straightening out, like getting a piece of string with knots in and going ding,
Yeah,
like that.
exactly.
You know?
But
Little steps.
So psychic vampires are actually quite useful for self-development, because they do highlight areas that you need to work on in regards to protection, changing behavioural patterns, not allowing them to drain your energy, changing how you react in those situations.
Yeah.
Do you not
Can I just say something?
Rather, not think.
Paul Rourke has said, and next week on Dark Mirror Show, we're joined by Dr. Phil Lol. Paul Rourke, I can honestly say you need Dr. Ruth and Jesus. Anyway, carry on.
Who the hell is Dr. Phil?
Dr. Phil, he was on TV, but Paul needs Dr. Ruth and Jesus and some holy water.
Oh dear, I've only just recently come across Dr. Ruth, thanks to you, Paul. Not Paul.
I'm
Mark.
not Paul.
No, Mark.
I'm the handsome one.
You honestly didn't know who Dr. Ruth was?
No, she didn't. She really didn't know who Dr. Ruth was. And I'm
Really?
like, Dr. Ruth, you know, tell me about the orgasm, yes?
I'm like, what the hell is he talking about? He's just gone on to sex. We're talking about a doctor. It's almost like a female Freud, you know?
Dr. Ruth, if you've got any challenging issues in the bedroom life, she'll help you. She will need to understand everything, but I stress this loudly. About the orgasm, yeah?
Oh, my God.
So now for Christmas, everyone just send Kerry Dr. Ruth books.
No, please don't. Please don't do that. I have plenty of other books on my list that you can send me, but definitely not Dr. Ruth or this other doctor, self-appointed doctors that they seem to appoint them. Okay. Anyway, let's look at the chat room. The spirits seem to sense a person who is more susceptible than others. If, say, a person is a bit down, the spirits will home in on the negativity, says James Steele in the chat room. I agree with that, which is one reason why we say you have to be aware of your mental state when you paranormal investigate, or you work in a spiritual manner. Don't we agree with that?
Yes.
Yep, definitely.
That is one of the reasons why. Yeah.
Definitely. They can see the chinks in your armour.
We say we are beings of light, right? So we are working in a positive way. But if that body of light has got chinks in it because you're having a bad day, or you're anxiety, or you're depressed, or you're having a crap time, or whatever it be, they will home in on that if they have that flaw themselves.
Yeah.
Like draws to like. You know, the power of manifestation and law of attraction. That is where you need to be aware of. And that is one of the reasons. I'm pointing at the screen and everything on this one. This is, I'm like proper having a pointy session. This is why you have to be so aware of yourself. And this is why working spiritually, one of the main things that's worked on is awareness of self. And that is your emotional state and your psychological state in going into these situations, because you can draw like to like. Your power of attraction is incredibly strong. When you start working, you become a beam of light. And if you've got that light infused with something that is not necessarily a good thing, that is going to be the power of attraction, and that is not what you want to do. Now, Gary has said about an experiment that he does in the field. He said, when I held a spiritual circle, he did an experiment where it would take a person's energy within the group, not dissimilar to what you've done with Chi, Mark, actually, to show the group of the signs of what happens if a psychic energy vampire is around. You've done, me and Mark and I, even. Again, my
you
grammar.
and me and you.
You and I. We got this crazy kind of love going on. Anyway, different channel. We've done this with Chi, haven't we? We've done some incredibly interesting experiments in regards to the same kind of experiment with Chi, which comes out of a martial arts training. Mark?
Do you remember? Yeah, exactly. You've got good and bad. You've got black medicine, white medicine, and it all depends what you can do. I can use... Lynn, my other half tell you, I can use Chi to get rid of headaches and minor aches and pains and stuff like that. I can actually take your Chi away from you, and I think I proved that, didn't I? I took it away from you, like, what the hell, and then put it back in you. Okay. And it's, and you can use it for good. You don't want to know where it came from or where it went back, but hey.
Hashtag jokes.
But it is a real thing, and I was the same as a lot of other people. Before I learned how to do it, and before I was taught how to use Chi in martial arts and for self healing and stuff like that, I always thought it was a load of rubbish. But then I was taught by a Tai Chi Chuan master, little tiny fella, about 5'4", with a little pork pie hat. And when the first time I used it, and I literally just punched a 6-foot kickback. That's all it was, punched it, and it was like a split second after I hit it, there was another audible bang, and that was the Chi. And that, when I first did that, I was like, wow! And then I went into it heavily, and I was taught...
We're back to Scooby-Doo!
Yeah. And then I was taught the black side and the white side, so I know there's definitely yin-yang, there's definitely good, and for every good reaction, there's an opposite reaction. Mm-hmm. For every good bit, there's a dark bit, so you just be careful what you do. But it is real, and it can be used, and next time we do anything together, oh God, that sounded terrible. Next time we're doing an investigation, I don't mind demonstrating it for people. Well, I'm sure you don't mind either.
No, I don't mind. Anyway, from a tech point of view, if you're saying a transfer of energy, would it not be possible to record this? And I'm sure he meant energy flow, not entertainment flow. Carl Hutchinson, that was Mr. Tech Guy himself. I'm sure he meant energy flow, not entertainment flow. Huh? I don't know where they're going in the chat room.
Because it sounds like somebody's going to pop into the chat room and say, I've come to fix your K-meter.
I wonder, though, that would be an interesting experiment. In particular, in regards to the Chi side of things, where you can draw and give energy.
That's worth it.
Would that be able to be recorded? Could we actually physically record that on tech? Do we think we could do that?
It's worth having a go. I mean, like now, I can get it straight in my hand there, and I know I can feel it. I can feel the tingling and everything. Because there's that tingling now, I would have thought you'd be able to. There should be something that can pick it up.
I would think so.
Yeah.
So, if anybody wants to come up with some sort of experiment, I'm more than willing to be a guinea pig for that.
Oh dear, we've got Ashley and Carl on talking experiments now in the chat room. Oh my goodness. And even Kaz is there with brainwave activity of empath, sensitive and narcissist. Oh my word. Now there's an experiment. Oh, hello. I've missed a lot in the chat room. I was right back. Skin type changes and heart rate changes and medical one. Even Paul Rook's in there with, oh my God. We could be teched up, Paul, and not Paul, Mark. Why do I keep calling you Paul tonight?
I have no idea. I'm starting to get a little worried about it, you know.
I'm so sorry, Mark. I
Do you know
apologise.
something? Do you know something? I said at the start when I said about the brainwaves event, I would volunteer for that experiment. Now they're adding all this to it, I'm not so sure.
Could you imagine? You're going to be in like one of those skin suits with like those pads added everywhere. It's like
All sorts.
not attractive, is it?
Well, if you're taking part in an experiment, I don't think being attractive is your main point, is it?
Sorry. Oh,
Skin
James,
suits with
he has a
pads
thermometer. James has a thermometer. That's good, as long as it's not a rectal.
Right, Ashley
Oh
said exactly.
my God.
Ashley has just said, let's build a lab.
Oh,
for
for
God's
God's
sake.
sakes.
We're starting something now.
He's going to be converting my
I've-
garage.
yeah,
I've got a funny old
Julie,
feeling in my
that's
water that my
awful.
garage is going to be converted at some point into a lab. It's
An idea, Kaz and Kerry, if you're up for this. This is an idea for a future show, all right? Kaz, you 1 weekend when we will sort it out with Kerry. You, myself, and Lynn's go to Kerry's and stay the weekend.
Sure.
You organise for me to get regressed and that recorded, and that gets that bit out of the way.
that's something
and then
we need
whoever,
to do.
Yeah, and then whoever wants to come and do these experiments, bring your kit along, and then test myself from the chi side of it, and then test Kaz from the empath side of it, and you should have either very different readings, or you should have what I think would possibly be similar readings.
I just kind of see a party happening there.
Oh,
A very
that as
weird
well.
kind of party, but I kind of see a party with Ashley, Carl, me, you, Andy Mercer, Kaz. I can see kind of like James probably will come along to that. I can kind of see like a really weird kind of. We're sorting. Good. Ashley's garage is going to go to a lab.
Yeah, we'll change it into a lab.
It's a day-to-day-to-day weekend. He's in. Ashley's in.
Oh.
Yeah.
Thumbs up. There you go.
Yeah, everyone's thumbsing up to that. So maybe that is something we need to... Well, I can't believe we've actually come to the end of the show. We're 4 minutes to go. 3 minutes to go now.
Well, funnily
We
enough,
barely touched the research that we did on this. We kind of went off in tangents, everybody.
funnily
I do
enough,
apologise.
I think we should do that and do a live broadcast as well, because
I think we should.
I was just going to say I've just done a lot of work on my motorbike as well, so I can come down anytime.
Wow. I do know a weekend where most of us are going to be all together.
Yeah, but we're going to be busy.
Yes.
Only during the day.
Fair point.
In the evening,
Okay. Yeah, in the evening.
we're not.
This is very true. This is
So
very true.
I do know of a weekend where Ashley, Carl, Mark, Kaz, and anybody else who decides to crash at my place. Paul is getting a little weird with beds that straps to fix the patient to the bed.
He's
It's a little
talking
weird.
about his own personal double back.
Can I just say
Paul,
something?
it's not
I've
that
volun-
kind of weekend.
Sorry, Kaz.
Don't be getting too weird with all of this because I volunteered for it. Just saying.
I know. I just seen Deadpool on this one.
No,
all I
I'm
can
Deadpool.
say.
What are you on about?
Having said I've just watched that film. I know, I've watched a film. I've watched a film, everybody. So, anyway, we are coming to the end of the show. It went a bit weird on the psychic energy vampires in a direction I kind of didn't really expect. We were going to talk about Lilith and, sensible discussions like that, but we kind of went off into a side discussion. Mark, what are you whittering about in the background there?
Just tonight, it wouldn't be the Dark Mirror show without going off on a tangent and this, that, and the other. It wouldn't be the Dark Mirror show without everybody joining in the chat room and it all going completely tits up. But tonight, we've had succubus sucking things, jerking things, this, that, and the other, and then you're like, we are coming to a close, So there it is. There you go. Kerry just did the money shot. Okay.
Oh, my goodness me. On that note, thank you so much for joining
Kerry?
us. Yes.
What are you forgetting?
Competition.
Good girl.
We have a competition running on the Parasearch Radio group page. At this moment in time, we have 2 tickets for the Chocolate Factory going on. The investigation doesn't happen until October, so you have got plenty of time to join and organise yourself to get up there. This is with our very own Kaz Rooney and the Ouija Brothers. Go over to the Parasearch Radio group page to check that out. Also, don't forget, Parasearch Radio are doing a sharing and caring event on the 18th of March. No, 18th of May next year. Go to parasearchradio.com, register your event. You will get sent a pack that will give you all the information you need on how to organise your event under the rules and regulations regarding charity events. And obviously, if you come under our little banner, you will get the advertising and shows and all sorts of wonderful stuff that we can offer on Parasearch Radio. So parasearchradio.com. Also, all of our shows, our lovely, wonderful shows that we do 6 nights a week, 7 shows a week. 6 nights a week, 7 shows. That's right, isn't it?
We'll get there in the end, yeah.
Yeah.
We'll get there.
On YouTube, Parasearch Radio. Check us out on YouTube. If you miss any of our shows, you can check them out there. Don't forget, click like, share, and subscribe. I love doing that bit. I do the actions and everything. YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe.
I thought that said you lube. I looked at it very quickly. Actually.
Oh dear. Next week on the Dark Mirror Show, we are talking about, now this has been totally misread by the other two in the group, animal psychics. No, we are not talking about the horse that can psychically pick up on things. Alrighty then. We are talking about people that can connect with animals next week on the Dark Mirror Show.
Well, it should be psychic and animals then, not psychic animals.
No, I've got my Ace Ventura membership club card on me, so we'll be all right.
I was going to say next week could be an Ace Ventura Pet Detective evening is what I'm saying on this one. Mark cannot physically wait. He is so excited about that one. I do feel a talking mongoose may pop up into the discussion, and much to my disgrace and disgust is all I can say on that. On Sunday evening, the Spirit Dimension is back at 9 p.m. We have a doctor in the house. We have Dr. David Saunders talking about dreams, nightmares, and the role of lucidity in regards to paranormal. Ruth. Pardon?
And Dr. Ruth.
We are not talking Dr. Ruth on Sunday.
No,
that is for damn sure.
Paul Rook's got Dr. Ruth and Jesus coming to visit him because he bloody needs it.
You know what? He's going to raise a show to do with that because some of the shows that Paul has raised for a Tuesday are just a little weird. All I'm saying. Anyway, on Sunday, 9 p.m., do not forget to join me. I am joined as a co-host. Yeah, I'm joined with a co-host on Sunday evening with the lovely Ashley, who we have seen trying to be intelligent.
Oh, meow.
Trying to bring it back to a sensible discussion in the chat room. The lovely Ashley Nib. And anyway, I think I've covered everything. Have I covered everything, guys?
Yeah.
YouTube, competition.
Yeah.
Sunday show. Monday live on the Facebook group page. Yeah, don't forget I go live.
And you will be drawing the competition on the Monday live.
Apparently so. I'll be drawing the competition on the Monday live.
I haven't forgotten that. I've put it firmly onto you.
I saw that, took that, and laughed and snorted and then laughed and laughed. Oh, actually, you know I love you. He's going all hash, scratch, hiss, and all that sort of stuff in the chat room. Anyway, my lovely people, on a Friday evening, we all bid you thank you so much for listening and a very farewell. We hope you enjoyed this mad and mayhemic psychic energy vampire show.
Yes, indeed.
And we managed to do it without an alien goddamn link. Have you seen that, Kaz?
Actually, I did have an alien link, but I thought, no, I'm not going to do it.
We managed to get through a whole show without an alien topic in there, apart from the odd shout of aliens. Woohoo! We managed to do a show.
No, they do. There's been a few cases of people suddenly getting drained after a close encounter of the third kind. So I was going to bring some of that up.
Anyway, we're off. So see you later.
On the chat room, we have to finish with an aliens from Mark because they're all yelling it.
Okay, all right. Oh, just for you lot out there. Hello, good evening, and aliens!
And on that note, we bid you a very farewell. Good night.
Good night.
Thank you for listening. Don't forget to join us for more shows throughout the week. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, and the World Wide Web to keep up to date with all the shows right here on Parasearch Radio.